Hi, today's date is Wednesday, November 24th, 2021. Getting close to the end of the year. For today's video source inspection, we have a fully refurbished 270S model SRD with a PSE 102 controller. Due to confidentiality reasons, I will not share my customer's name with you, but they are from Texas, and so they can identify this tool. Their PO number is 451-457-0284. We take COVID-19 very seriously at SciTech. My camera person has their mask on, but I do not have mine on because it is easier to hear me without it. So it's going right back on after the video. Before we get started, let's see what we're running. All right, we got into purging in the bowl. We have an A194 60 MB rotor. And looks like 24 wafers, so just one short of a full boat. Today I'm going to discuss our refurbishment process, our spare parts and service support, as well as name off some equipment at SciTech you may have not known that we also provide in addition to SRDs. So, let's show this tool is ready to ship. Okay. Every SRD that comes to SciTech for refurbishment goes through the same extensive refurbishment process. First, we take the tool and break it down to the component level. From there, we chemically clean and electropolish all metal parts, as well as individually test and inspect all individual parts for function. So when we switch from our rinse over to our purge, we're going to move up in RPMs, and the water is going to start swirling in a circular motion. And that's going to happen until the recipe ends, and you'll see very few, if any, residual drops of water on the window upon completion. Once all parts are prepped, that is when we place the tool into our first QC checkpoint, which we call wet test. In wet tests, dry test, not wet test. In dry test, we test the SRD for full function without any facilities installed. Dry test, no water. Okay, we're switching over to purge, and we're starting to swirl. SRD is going faster with the motor, spinning the rotor, and we're nice and smooth too. Once the tool passes dry test, we move to wet test. That's step 2. This is where we test the SRD for full function with facilities installed. So we're nice and smooth. We're in our dry 1, we're starting to heat up. So far so good. Once the tool passes wet test, it goes into the final configuration, which you see before you today. We call this final test. That's why, next to me there's tools with poly. However the customer purchases the tool or ships us the tool is what it looks like in final test. So they just pull the head from their poly, so we're going to ship it back to them and they're going to put it back in the poly. That's why we have a bare head assembly. If there was poly, it'd be on right now. So we're running nice and smooth. The solenoid valve lights are on. This customer uses SMC solenoid valves, which is an option since the Humphrey solenoids are discontinued. That being said, we do provide both. We provide tested Humphrey valves or the SMC solenoid valve upgrades. So that's our refurbishment process. Let's talk a little bit more about spare parts. I've already touched on solenoid valves. We are the worldwide leader in semi-tools, SRD, spare parts, and service. We provide 100% of the spare parts or repairs needed for your semi-tool SRD. Parts we repair include rotor rebalances, motors. This includes brush type or brushless for this S model. We repair controllers such as PSC 101s, 102s, 228s, and 328s. And we also repair LC4s and LC5s. This tool utilizes an LC4, which is a servo amp, to power the brushless motor. So we're slowing it down. We're really letting our heaters do the work. The reason we spin faster at dry 1 is to sling as much excess water off the cassette and wafers as possible before really letting the heaters heat the wafers at a lower RPM. All the components I just mentioned are the larger components, and we can provide them in new or refurbished condition in addition to repairs. So phone number if you'd like to reach us and figure out what you need is 916-797-9000. You can submit an RFQ to our website, www.scitechprocess.com, or email us directly. Our email address is sales@scitechprocess.com. We're going to take a peek at the time. We have about 3 minutes left. Obviously, we have extensive semi-tool SRD support. We've gone over repairs and the larger components, but let's talk about the rest of the parts. Every part, 100% spare parts and service support means 100% parts. That means door switches, start switches, stop switches, door seals, windows, solenoid valves, which I touched on earlier. We have 2 types. ACR valves, rotor stop positioners, tach sensors, anti-static modules, N2 heater, blanket heater, anything you need, an N2 filter, cabling, we can help you out. Pressure switches, 100% spare parts and service support. In addition to semi-tool SRD support, we also support the Vertec SRDs. We purchased that SRD product line from Martech a couple of years back, so we are actually the owner of Vertec SRDs. If you have any spare parts, repairs, or equipment needs for Vertec, we're happy to assist you there too. Okay, just under 2 minutes to go. We're nice and smooth. I see maybe 10 drops of water on the window. Let's talk about equipment. So, you may not know this, but we provide semi-tool SRDs and Vertec SRDs. Okay, you knew that. But that's not all. We provide box washers such as the HTC 8010, 8020, and 8030, mask cleaners including K&S and Ultra T models, metrology tools including profilometers, ellipsometers, resistivity, and more. We provide barrel ashers and etchers, YES ovens, a variety of microscopes, and last but not least, we have multiple spray solvent tools in stock right now. So if you have a need for a spray solvent tool, now's the time to get them while they're hot because it's a limited supply for a limited time at SciTech. All right, we're nice and smooth. We still have about a minute left. This customer utilizes the PSC 102 controller. We do have a direct replacement controller. It's the SciTech Slick Device S1. To replace the 102, you just got to change your front poly face. It has the same dimensions as a PSC 101, which this customer also utilizes a PSC 101. But basically, it's a touchscreen controller with a very user-friendly graphical interface. There's N2 cost savings involved. You can monitor your anti-static as well as your heating elements. A lot of times when fabs have particle issues in their SRD, they don't know that their anti-static has failed until they see the particle issues. We prevent that. We can tell you when it's starting to fail, and you can replace it right there and then. Nice and smooth. I see 3 drops of water. Gotta be careful. It's hot. Don't want to open the door yet. Can cause damage to your tool if you open your door too early. We want to be at 12 o'clock. You'll hear the rotor stop positioner fire. Boom, there it is. Then the door seal, release all air. Boom. Safe to open the door. Let's see how we did. All right. Warm N2 purging into the bowl. Residual droplets of water in the bowl. This is good. You don't want your bowl bone dry at the end of a recipe. Cassette is warm to the touch and wafers are completely dry. All the information I just gave to you shows us this tool is ready to ship. It's ready for plug and play installation into our customer's fab in Texas. They're going to be so happy to get it back and put it into production. Enjoy your holiday weekend. We'll see you next time.